Welcome to our second News Bites. This is Monday the 11th of August 2025 and RTD is sending aggressive broadsides at President Trump, Reformer Nigel Farage and almost sidelining Doctor Who compared to his own material. So here we go again. The man given too much unchecked power by Disney, Bad Wolf and the BBC, declares his own personal and political hobby horses, and you quickly see how being given Doctor Who again just served a public platform up to him to let rip.
They're expecting the first transmission from the planet's surface.
I love Doctor Who, but I don't own it. It's not mine. So in the end, my heart will always be with the things that I own. It's a sin. Queer as folk, cucumber, banana, years and years. I get that. But has he heard of being a custodian of a show? It wasn't his original, it wasn't his formula, but you can be a really good custodian. It takes a certain type of person who is big enough to offer their qualities and their experience and their skill, but then know that they're just looking after something for a short time. It's never going to be reflective of them.
These remarkable images have been relayed right across the world.
No, it's got to be ego. That's what's going on here. I mean, has he heard of being collegiate? Heard of team? Heard of ensemble casting? Heard of a writer's room? I love Doctor Who, but I don't own it. Fancy saying that you don't own it. I mean, is that a problem for him? I mean, it didn't seem to stop him changing and rewriting other people's work and creations. The idea of ownership fascinates me because maybe Pip and Jane Baker would not want their Rani written like she was, or Robert Holmes' Sutekh, or the Sonic, or Terry Nation's Davros. The list is endless. Ownership is all about his ideas, like the Ood. There is no mutual respect, it seems to me.
We picked up that time transmitter again.
Remember when I went to the Utopia convention in Milton Keynes this year, Benjamin Cook on a panel said that the 1960s edited colorizations of the Daleks and the War Games so far had to reflect the RTD New Who Doctor Who. Ownership again. Or in this case, let's be honest, it's called appropriation.
Transmitter in operation, sir. 20th century, sir.
He said these quotes in a Big Issue interview which was released for tomorrow, really. So basically it's just been seen today. So Big Issue, and it got very, very political, as I said, and so there's a lot of Doctor Who talk, but I'll link it back, don't you worry. So his latest rants and blasts come from an interview with Big Issue magazine. Your Manchester interview with the drag queen that I covered recently shows you there's a track record here. You know, he's been on Newsround. It's all soft soap interviews. But equally, he has been highly political, so he clearly must feel he's no longer involved with Doctor Who and has lost his platform. He cannot speak up like this if he was really a BBC employee. Oh my God, just you wait. So, he says he loves Doctor Who. He certainly says he feels responsible for decisions he makes with Doctor Who. So, for example, he said, of course, no blood. All sorts of issues I used to have rules on that are quite strict about no blood. I think there are very young children watching. You can have laser beams, you can have deaths. You can have all sorts of deaths, but not blood bursting out of people. So, of course, spearhead from space, blood on a windscreen smashed. I doubt it anymore. Attack of the Cybermen. I doubt it. He has a rule. It's not his show. He doesn't own it. He loves it, but he's not having it. He seems to think he's been responsible as a custodian of Doctor Who because he loves it. But I find it funny how he shows that love sometimes. So, for example, he did offer that he doesn't necessarily have the key to the success of Doctor Who, so he doesn't quite know whether he's right or wrong. I have to say, when he says this as well, I sometimes wonder whether there's an element of false modesty. Okay then, I'll be fair. Is it modesty, or is it actually reality kicking in after seeing Disney walk away, ratings tank, and the media turn on his version of Doctor Who? For him suddenly to say, I still don't know, I haven't got the key to it, and that's part of its success, people trying to work it out. Yeah, More of which in a minute when we talk about how his lack of collegiality might be a problem.
Clever, clever, clever boy.
And of course, he says he loves Doctor Who, and I'm going to say it's a funny sort of love. Case study number 1, Davros. What was he saying here? Of course, we have problems. He said we have problems, and I had problems with Davros of old in the wheelchair being associated with evil. I had a problem. I make the decision. I don't care about Terry Nation's work. I don't know about anybody else's work. That's how it's going to be from now on. That sounds like somebody who owns it. Doesn't sound like somebody who loves Davros either, because you wouldn't bring him back so changed. Case study 1. Case study 2 of his apparent love for Doctor Who. He so loves Doctor Who that the sonic screwdriver is not seen as a fun gadget, but now is a lethal weapon. The man wants to live in London or Birmingham on a night out. I don't think sonics are our problem, RTD. Get real. So, yeah, case study number 2. I love Doctor Who so much, and I'm so responsible with my decisions that I'm changing an iconic character completely. I've decided, I haven't had a big discussion about it, I'm changing the sonic screwdriver design. I'm doing that.
He shall come to me, raffling man.
Case study 3. When we had 73 yards and everybody was asking, because it was the most obvious thing in the narrative, what is that woman saying to everybody when they scream and run away? And he said, not for the first time, I will never explain that moment. Right. And then you start to see a track record of this man who loves Doctor Who, who's very responsible with Doctor who actually can't be asked to explain any of his decisions, even if some of them are controversial, like Davros, or stupid, like the sonic screwdriver. So, as he said in the interview, I'm not going to tell you what she says. End of. Not even going to give you a hint of it. He also did the same trick with the Star Beast. One of the references in it, he said, I see no need to explain it whatsoever. My sister watches it, she doesn't blink. She doesn't blink when a character turns to camera and gives them a wink. So fourth walls, we don't care about. I'm not explaining it. He then talks about Mrs. Flood and her breaking the fourth wall, and he says that might never be explained. He says in the Doctor Who offices, we know exactly why that happens, and yet I'm showing no sign of putting that on screen. Is that laziness? Is that smugness? Is that complacency? Is that showing no love for Doctor Who fans? Is that showing no love for Doctor Who because you're not putting it in the actual dialogue and text? What is this? So this is the man who loves Doctor Who has a lot to say about Farage, Reform, Trump and everybody else, and yet look what he's doing here.
Bombay sending now, Tokyo receiving.
And of course, I mean, what case study number am I up to now? Case study number 6, Sutek. Now I could mention Omega, the Rani, the toy maker. I really could go on with his appropriation of other people's villains and characters and monsters and how he has changed them. I don't own Doctor Who, it's not mine. Right, okay then. You've been acting very much like you own it all. 60s Who, how the regeneration looks, all the key characters.
Washington receiving now, dispatch completed.
And of course he said last year, 11th of May 2024 to the Times, I'm the boss who says, do it my way. I don't want people questioning me. I want a team who'll come in, do what I say and make it brilliant. This is the man who doesn't like dictators. This is the man who slags off President Trump. This is the man, right?
You know there's something alien about that tower. I can sense it.
I'm the boss who says, do it my way. I want a team who'll come in and just do it. It's not much of a team, is it? Slaves, servants, serfs, ood. So, let's be truthful and honest here. He says he loves Doctor Who, but he's the boss. You do it his way or the highway. There's no collegiate team, no writer's room, like Letts and Terence Dicks or Robert Holmes and Philip Hinchcliffe. No way. Here, his statement does make you think about why Chris Eccleston left and the rumours about that. The talk of bullying from on high, the rants, and how the people low down were treated. Just look at that statement. I wonder who Chris Eccleston must be talking about. Chris Eccleston won't put up with this sort of nonsense politics. So RTD, I'm the boss, you do it my way, nobody questions me, end of. Right, well you better get it right then. Remember this statement, please. I'm the boss, you do it my way, nobody questions me. And then add to that, when he also said last year in the Men's Health magazine, of all places, that when he does his job on Doctor Who, he feels very trusted by the BBC and Disney Plus to let my voice be heard. They don't stop me. Nothing's ever censored or challenged. It's a very fruitful relationship, yeah, for him. So basically there, nobody pushes back. There's no Terence Dicks pushing back on Barry Letts or vice versa. There's no drama department having a word with Verity Lambert. There's nobody. He is the man who loves Doctor Who, but it's not mine. It's not mine and I don't own it, but I'm going to act as though I am running some sort of fiefdom and everything is done my way to make it brilliant. And as I said, right, if this is the setup, you better make sure every decision you made was brilliant. And then, of course, we hit the problem. So when I did a survey on our channel on Twitter, 60% of people thought RTD was getting it wrong. That was before season 2 aired. So, right, that didn't work out. Then, of course, his other brave decision that nobody could push back on is we'll have the gayest Doctor Who ever. A very emotional Doctor, the most emotional Doctor we've ever had. Disco dancing, nightclubbing, kissing, the lot. All on RTD, just like Davros, Sutek, Sonic Screwdriver, the lot. And of course, did that work?
We are the news. 600 channels, all coming out of Satellite 5.
When he is asked questions, and in the big issue interview that was released today, he was asked this: what is occurring in relation to Doctor Who and its uncertain future? To which he says, very evasively, behave. So this is the man who's got lots of opinions. You are not allowed to question him. And he doesn't have to give us any explanation in 73 yards or anything. It's his way or highway. Sorry, is there a future for Doctor Who? Behave.
You are lying to the people.
Now, there's no reason to talk like that when he uses 4 words when 1 would do half the time. Why doesn't he just say, look, it's up in the air at the moment? Why doesn't he just do the usual standing position that season 3 will be discussed when we've shown the spin-off? He's not doing any of that. It's almost like he really, really is out, as my source has confirmed to me. And now he's going, shut up, shut up. Right, okay. And then, of course, in the big issue interview, he really does let rip. And this is when he brings Doctor Who into disrepute. So this part of the big issue interview, I think it is incendiary. It's explosive, it's dangerous, and shows why he must be clearly nowhere near Doctor Who now, I guess. How we need him away from Doctor Who now, because he is making Doctor Who the political battering ram for his personal gripes. Doctor Who is the sacrificial lamb on the altar. His concern for gay rights and his associated inflammatory rhetoric, his fear-mongering, scaremongering, rabble-rousing, his toxicity, he's dangerous, he's trouble. I hear a man who has never had to work his way through committees and public service career paths. I see a man who likes his own voice, but as I shall soon point out in a moment, it's all words, his deeds are different, and Doctor Who actually proves it. So here, now things are rapidly and urgently getting worse. As we look down the barrel of a reform government, we, the gay community, queer community, should be revolting in terror and anger and action. Number one, we're 4 years away from that moment, if it happens. Secondly, you can only have a government after a democratic exercise, and that's called a lot of millions of people voting. I assume RTD, our Doctor Who showrunner, is saying the British public, I think in the future, might vote a way I don't like, and we should be terrified of that. Well, why don't people start listening to the British public now?
And tonight we're expecting very strong ghosts.
I mean, sci-fi is good if it's to attack oppression. Sci-fi is good when it attacks totalitarian regimes and talks about present ills. But it's no good if we science fiction readers and writers actually don't listen to the public ourselves.
It's my ghost, and I love him.
He likes to get us paranoid. So this is our showrunner who has written scripts like Lucky Day, etc. Yeah. So of course they're out to get us. The President of the United States is literally out to get us, is discounting us. He would be happier with us invisible and gone, defunded, completely invisible, if not biologically altered to become as straight as him. Just listen for a second. This is a news bite, this is not a documentary. Take a look at what he's just said then. Is that true? Has Donald Trump said he would prefer to de-gay people? Or is he conflating the issue about trans rights in sport and changing rooms with the gay issue just to kind of, mobilise a movement? Because what he's saying that in that statement, I've not heard once from any Republican to de-gay people. I have seen they want to stop the propaganda and the indoctrination in schools. I approve of that. And it gets worse. Our public servant, our BBC employee says, it's terrifying. I think we've got a kind of imaginary countdown to when he's going to have that great big heart attack and the bastard might not. So he's talking about the President of America, a democratically elected leader of the Western world, and he's calling him a bastard and he's wishing him dead. This is the kindness of the left. This is the tolerance. And this is the man who's been writing scripts for Doctor Who, which has just tanked. And you wonder why we had to have that exercise and that dangerous conduct. So he continues, it's scary. How much did we underestimate them? We thought they spent the past 5 years self-flagellating. No, they're planned. Again, this is all conspiratorial. This is all fear-mongering. What he's saying is, in a democratic process, when you lose, you regroup, you come up with a new manifesto and you see if the public like it. And they'll only like it and then vote you in. So what the hell is he going on about? He makes it sound as though there's been some sort of guerrilla movement. It's dangerous talk. He says we should fear the people who will step in once he's gone. All those invisible, powerful people who suddenly have a voice. There could be even worse. Could, should, would. Who's he? Septic Peg? Who's he? Some Nostradamus of Doctor Who? We're talking about the future, man.
Oh, the tower. It's finished.
He's saying if this happens, if this could happen. As some of us are more bothered about what's happening actually now, today, mate. So he mentions a lot of talk about fighting. Okay, look at this one. The whole world is keeping us all awake. We are overwhelmed with big issues. I do think, are you prepared to fight? Because a fight is coming. And I wonder about people who have been put in jail in the last year in Britain for sending texts that apparently incited violence. And then you've got somebody who says, we must fight. We must be terrified of a democratically elected leader. And I just start to wonder, hold on a minute here. Isn't this an incitement to violence from a BBC employee? So I am quite concerned about where this rhetoric took us. And I did mention that I find a disconnect between deeds and words. In the story in the engine, we had this great moment, didn't we? Lots of scary words about racism that the Doctor had faced. Yet the story was all about how amazingly welcoming and kind and spiritual Nigerian society was. RTD, the great leader, brushed the truth of gays killed on streets in Lagos and state oppression of gay people. He lied. That was cowardly, that was unforgivable. RTD is no Henry V to follow into battle, right? No way. So this dialogue here, my body changes a lot. It's the first time I've had this black body. In some parts of the earth, I'm now treated differently. Meanwhile, in Lagos, as a gay black man, it's some sort of great utopia. Lie, lie, lie. And of course, we had this amazingly awkward Doctor's speech in Lucky Day. Conrad, you are special for all the wrong reasons. You see, I'm fighting a battle on behalf of everyday people who just want to get through their day. Yeah, just want to watch telly and a Doctor Who episode and feel safe and warm and fed. Yeah, tell that to people now who are getting blooming payments cut. And then comes along this noise, this relentless noise all day long. cowards like you weaponising lies. Well, hello, I've just proven the fear-mongering and the scaremongering going on and talking about a future that hasn't happened yet from RTD, but he's happy to put these words into the doctor's mouth, talking about insecurity and fear. I tell you what, they can't see that they are doing that. They are lying about certain countries in the world and certain societies, but happy to, pile onto their own. And then on top of that, they project and say the opposition to them are weaponising lies, doing terrible propaganda, and are dangerous people. And yet they're the ones who are doing it. They're the ones in power. They're the ones who are writing these programmes. So it's a fascinating one, isn't it? Absolutely fascinating that this man says one thing and does another. He wants other people to fight. He's happy just firing the words. But of course, remember, this man, he just goes on and on and on. His language is quite terrifying. Terrifying, anger, revolting, fight, bastard, scary, fear, invisible enemy. Am I missing something? We've wrecked the Doctor Who show. We've mired it in parochial identity politics because of something that might happen, according to the great Nostradamus himself, RTD. He sounds like someone who knows the tide is moving, doesn't he? He said last year, 20 years ago, all the geeks and the nerds were the freaks and were just embarrassing. We were the ones ignored at school and now we rule the world. The movies, the television, the culture, even Kamala Harris has appeared on Drag Race. They thought they had it all, didn't they? Now it's turned a bit, democratically, he's kicking off. Now he's not got the Doctor Who gig, he's kicking off. It's a man who's just found the toys have been taken off him and he is kicking off. So that was News Bites. Join us again, everybody. See ya.